Hey guys, and welcome to episode 6 of Bears Brunch. I know we missed it last week. I'm Chase Almy, Lebanese Lemmy on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me hanging out there as well. But yeah, I'm doing it solo today, guys. It's just me, so it'll probably be a short show because I don't have anybody to talk to, and who really wants to listen to me ramble for about 55 minutes on the Bears. But thanks for joining us. It's 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It's the best time. The Bears are stuck with that noon slot yet again, so sorry that you don't have time to, drink a little after the show and get things going for the game. But you got 5 minutes after, even today, maybe you have 25 minutes. It'd be nice. But we're still riding that high off of another great Bears win. That's right. It was 33-27 for that game against the Vikings. They came out strong. They came out looking like a team that is hungry, and that's what we want. Mitch Trubisky, David Montgomery having themselves both another day, and that puts us in a great spot for the playoffs. I know a lot of us are hoping that doesn't happen, that it doesn't build confidence in Matt Nagy or in Ryan Pace, but a win is a win, and it's nice. It could be playoff time. Who knows? Things are crazy in the NFL during the COVID times. 33-27. I know that's not a big gap. There were some missed key opportunities on the defensive side of the field that things just didn't happen the way that they needed to, and that's why that score got ran up there a little bit. There was times I was a little nervous. I was like, here we go again. This is going to be another one of those games. This is going to be another one of those. We're right here, right there. Another Lions, 2 minutes, 37 seconds, 99.1% chance, games within 6. I'm freaking out. I'm watching. I'm having like an indigestion attack, like sitting in a chair trying to keep it all together. Just I can't handle another game like that. But luckily, the offense pulled through. Defense came up when they needed to. It was shaky for a lot of the game. There was a lot of stuff going on, but they pulled out the W, and that's what matters. Also this week, we have all those games going on because of the Christmas season, and there's really not a lot of college football going on. So last night we had that Cardinals and Niners games, and the Niners won. They won it out for us. So thank you, 49ers. It was pretty funny because George Kittle said, yes, I love the Bears. I grew up being a Bears fan. You're welcome, guys. Everybody knows what he means. The only way this is going to work, the only way that this playoff destiny is going to work is we've got to win today against the Jaguars, and we've got to beat the Packers. That's just how it has to happen. The Packers one is a little bit more nerve-wracking. We'll get into today's game here in just a minute. But now that the Cardinals lost, we are now in that third spot for the wild card. So if they win out, that's all they have to do. They have to win out the season. And I know that sounds easy, but that's really hard because that last game of the season, you've got the Packers and you've got Aaron Rodgers. And that's never fun to see on your schedule. Nobody ever wakes up and is like, I get to play Aaron Rodgers today. It's more like, shit, I have to play Aaron Rodgers today. Nobody wants to do it. I know I wouldn't want to do it. The Bears, though, are on that final upswing. I mean, you've got David Montgomery coming through. David Montgomery having just here we were with that first one. Here we were yet last week with the Texans. Busting out 80-yard runs, busting out great numbers, having 100-plus rushing yards in 2 games. Unheard of before then. Mitch knows what to do in that RPO style offense that they're running. They know what's to happen. They know what to look for. They know what's going on. And that's amazing. Montgomery, it's not just Mitch that's having himself a decent string of games. David Montgomery's finally showing up, and people are saying, hey, you know what? They have a run game that gives us more options, that gives us more things. Now people have to worry about David Montgomery. People have to worry, what is he going to do? Is he going to break out? Is he going to have him another 80-yard run for the first play of the game? What is going to happen? That is one of the keys that they're going to have to do to keep things interesting, keep things moving, and keep the defense on their toes. Getting that kind of hurry up offense, getting that new play style that Bill Lazor is really letting Mitch Trubisky kind of do his thing, and it's become very adaptable to his playing style, and it's looking great. I think Nagy just had that system and was going to beat it into him, and there was another coach that did that, and we all got to watch him get fired on Amazon Prime. Fisher with the LA Rams and Jared Goff just try to beat a system into a guy that it wasn't ever going to work because that wasn't his style. And we're seeing that again in Chicago. So hopefully this doesn't change the way that people are looking at it. I don't think Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace will be here this next year. I'm really hoping. I pray every night, and that's my prayer. We don't have to see these fools again in Chicago come 2021. I don't even think if they won out, they could say, hey, you guys are going to be here. I just don't think they could do that. I think with the fans and the way that Chicago is, I don't think that they'll be able to live that one down. And it's ridiculous to even think that they should be coming back. No. The Bears in this game, though, the Bears and the Jaguars, it starts today at noon. Watch it, love it. This should be, and you have to say that it should be a game. The Bears should show up. The Bears should win. I really hope so. I mean, I love watching the Jaguars lose. This is going to be great. It should be a game that we can sit back, relax, enjoy the game, watch it. This is a good chance for the defense to kind of work on some things that failed in the Vikings game. There are a couple of players, we'll talk about that here in a bit, on what needs to happen with them. It's a little shaky. They're 2/5 of their starting secondary are out on injury. It is Jalen Johnson and Buster Skrine will miss against the Jaguars, and tight end Demetrius Harris is the lone Chicago player listed as doubtful, while there are 8 Bears listed as questionable. Questionable Bears are Deion Bush, Akeem Hicks, Cordell Patterson, Khalil Mack, which he's been questionable for the whole season, Allen Robertson, Duke Shelley, and Mario Edwards Jr., and Bilal Nichols. They're all questionable, but they practiced on a limited basis on Friday. So that's always a plus. Khalil Mack will always be on that for some reason. He's still having that. There's several injuries on this list. It has him listed as questionable for his shoulder. But for you guys that like to play the books, 7, got a -7 here on the old betting line for us. So that's always good. If you're not into betting, but you like to play a lot of fantasy games, I've got one for you. It's Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight is the daily fantasy sports gaming website for the casual sports fan that is simple, fun, and easy to play. Users determine which superstars competing in the day's professional sporting events will record more or less than the contest line provided. Monkey Knife Fight's daily fantasy prop games play similar to the salary cap-based DFS games, but without the algorithms, lineups, and most importantly, sharks. There are several contests to choose from, none of which require hours of research required on competing sites. Start with a simple 2-2 or go to the highest payouts. Those highest payouts that are 100 times and higher by selecting an 8-8 more or less contest. Get started now with a 100% instant match bonus up to $50 with promo code Bears Brunch. I know the season is almost over, but you know what? They've got the basketball, and I believe they've got the hockey. I haven't really looked on the hockey. I'm a big hockey guy, but I haven't checked it out. But I know basketball is going because I've already played some basketball with them. So it's a lot of fun. I tell myself $10 a week. I mean, $10 a week, who knows what's going to happen? I win, I lose, I break even typically, just because I get too big-headed and get into other games where I could have just cashed out and been happy. But no, I'm going to go and play it because just like Christina here at Deep in Chi-Town, I can become a little bit of a degenerate. So, but yeah, let's get on into it. The Bears and Jaguars playing today at noon. You guys are waiting for that. So let's take a look at some key things. This should be an easy win for the Bears. It really should be. The Bears should come out on top. They've got to. The Bears, they got a gift from the Niners. They lost 20-12, the Cardinals did. So that put them below that third spot. Now all the Bears have to do is go and win. If they win these final two games, or they split the last two Cardinals and they split. So basically, here's how it goes. If they win out, they've got it. If they win this one, lose the Packers game, which could be realistically what we have to look at, the Cardinals would have to lose to the Rams next Sunday. The Bears have already clinched the tiebreaker over Arizona. So that's a plus. The Jaguars, they've lost 13 straight games since beating the Colts in the season opener. So that's it. They've got the one. You can't. They've lost 13 straight. Let's hope and pray that it's 14th. The Bears offense is really kicked into high gear now. That's another one of the pluses. The offense has to stay there. The offense has to be ready. The offense has to show up. We've got to see the same looks from Mitch. We've got to see that same play from Montgomery. We've got to see all of the things. All the cylinders have got to be firing at the same time, just like in any football game. I'm not telling you guys anything that you already don't know. But this is the time. They've finally shown up. This is Mitch Trubisky's time to say, you know what? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Yeah, I was out there on the field, but a lot of it was play call. A lot of it was Nagy. Even Foles says it was Nagy. Foles says, yeah, he calls things in the huddle, and I'm like, this ain't going to work. So, it can't be just everybody saying that. In 4 games since the change, the Bears have generated 14 touchdowns and averaged 31 points and 386.5 yards. That was unheard of before. The highest they had scored was 24 when we started this show. This is the 6th episode. I mean, yeah. Okay, well here, yeah, in this previous 7 contests before the change was made, they had 9 touchdowns and averaged 16.7 points and 272 yards. So 31, so they're up 25 points and, over 100 yards now here in the last 4 games on average than the previous games with Foles and Trubisky there at the beginning. They've scored 30 points in 3 straight games for the first time since 2013. And if they do it again today, it'll be the best since 1965. So, we're a good team. The Bears are a good team. The Bears just have some work. The Bears have got to get through it. In 4 games, we got a 67.9% passing rating with 978 yards and 8 touchdowns from Mitch. Don't tell me that it was Mitch's fault. 3 interceptions and a 99.7 passer rating. Guys, it wasn't Mitch. I know we didn't like it there, but that's just how Bears fans are. We're so used to being let down. I mean, they've got a great chance. The defense just has to show up. They're playing a team that ranks 30th in NFL points and 32nd in yards, in total yards. You've got to expect to show up and win. The Bears, they've got to have the 36-7 against the Texans was unheard of. It wasn't expected. It kind of looked fluky. Last game really kind of showed up and said, no, it's not a fluke. We're here to play. We're here to stay. We're going to ride this season out. We're going to do something. And they showed up and did that. There was a couple of misfires in the last game, but they had a better offense. I feel like the Vikings had a way better offense than the Texans did. And that's proof there in the score, 33-27. The Bears didn't look that bad. There was a few times that you're like, ugh. They were on the field and they scored a touchdown, and that wasn't it. They had a couple of boom boom, real quick little drives, and that's what kind of turned it around. And that wasn't really what it was. And the Bears on the offensive side, David Montgomery needs to continue. He was a 3rd-round pick, but he's rushed for 434 yards and 5 touchdowns on 71 carries and has a 6.1 yard average for the season. The only person that's beating with more yards and touchdowns in that type of span is Derrick Henry. I mean, Montgomery has 100 yards in 3 times of the 4, has over 100 yards in the past 3 out of 4 games, and he had 146 yards on 32 carries against Minnesota. He should be ready to roll. I can't wait for it. This is going to be a fun game. I told you guys this was going to be a short show. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to let you guys hear from my buddy over at Death Ink Coffee. Death Ink Coffee is the best coffee. It's the only way I wake up. I got it back here on the shelf next to my punching bag that I got for my desk. Because sometimes I get mad when I'm at work, but we all do. So I have to have something to take it out. It's either that or yell at people, and I would rather punch that and not get fired. So, but Death Ink Coffee, it's good stuff. They have a subscription plan. They'll deliver it to you. I believe it's every 2 weeks is what the max is on it, or you can get it monthly. Get you a pound or two. deathink.coffee is where you can find it. Let's hear from these guys. Thank you guys. Death Ink Coffee. Check it out. Got some for Christmas. It was amazing. So there was a couple of other big news things in the for the Bears this week with some roster moves. On Tuesday, they activated receiver punt returner DeAndre Carter from the reserve COVID-19 list and signed running back Spencer Ware to the practice squad and return receiver Thomas Ives to the practice squad from the COVID-19 list. Do you remember Ware played in 43 games with 19 starts over 5 seasons with the Seahawks, the Chiefs? He was there with the old Matt Nagy. So who knows what's going to happen. I haven't heard much else about it. But Ware was signed with the Colts in 2019, but he suffered an ankle injury and was released without appearing in a game. He rejoined the Chiefs late in the season, playing in 3 contests before being placed on injury reserve with a shoulder injury. Guy is injury prone. Just news. Who cares? Guys, this is it. It's going to be the predictions, which is just me. So I have one prediction. I'm being generous there with the I'm being generous with the Jags. I'm giving them 10 points. 27-10 is my final score for the game. This brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Get you some pizza. Get you some beer. You guys got time. I only took up like 20 minutes of your time. All right, guys. So bear down. Be on the lookout. We've got Bulls Deep coming up as well. And we've also got Hawks Talks. January 13th, opening game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Bulls already off to a rough start with 0-2 after they lost to Indiana last night. So check it out. They're a lot of fun. We'll be also adding on our Chicago Cubs and White Sox show here coming up after the 2021 season, or after 2021 starts, which is in a few days, guys. This is the last show of the year. Thanks for joining us for this. Sorry, it's just me. I'm not as fun as Christina Gonzalez. She's out with some personal stuff. We might talk about that next week. And we may be live next week at Savastano's Pizza if everything gets going in the right direction. We'll let you guys know. Definitely on social media. Follow us Deep in Chi-Town and Bears Brunch on Instagram. Find us on Facebook as well. But until then, guys, bear down. Let's get this win, and let's take it all the way. Let's beat the Packers. The Packers ain't got nothing on us right now, guys. Enjoy the game. We'll see you guys next week, 11 o'clock, right here on Sportscaster, Facebook Live, Instagram TV, and also on the YouTube. Have a great one, guys. Bear down.